What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm back to watch some One Piece. This is episode 19, and in the last one, that was the one with that guy that they met and on that island, Gaimon. What a crazy story that was. I mean, just the fact that that guy had been there for 20 years, trapped inside of a treasure chest. He was on this island and he met all these weird creatures, but he was there and he was like protecting the place and scaring off other people because he was trying to protect the treasure that was there. But it ended up being that the treasure was already gone. You know, it showed that flashback when he like went up there and he saw a bunch of treasure chests, but he ended up falling, and then that's how he got stuck in the treasure chest, and then, you know, everybody left, and so he was just stuck there, and he thought that there was treasure up there the whole time until, you know, Luffy came, and Luffy was able to get up there really easily, and then Luffy didn't want to tell him. That was a really interesting scene right there, because as we know, Luffy doesn't like to lie. He doesn't really lie. I feel like he's not capable of lying. He didn't really lie to him, but he didn't like want to tell him. He was just like, you know, nope, I'm not bringing it down because I don't want to. And so that was just kind of interesting scene, but it was because all of the treasure was gone already. But the freaking crazy thing is that Gaimon didn't actually mind, and he was more like relieved that it wasn't there. And then it ended off with, you know, they offered Gaimon to join them, you know, on their journey. And Gaimon decided to stay. He wanted to stay and be with the, you know, the animals that he's been with for the past 20 years. He actually liked being inside of that treasure chest. He's a good guy for that. But that's just wild. That is just wild. But anyways, what are we going to get next? That was a short little trip right there. We're already gone. I'm wondering what we're going to get next. So before I get into it, if you guys are enjoying these reactions, leave a like. That'd be greatly appreciated. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Feel free to follow me on the other social media. And if you're watching on YouTube, consider checking out patreon.com/DonDiego if you want to catch these reactions ahead of time. And with that being said, let's get on to the next episode of One Piece. Let's go.
Sucker's heavy. What the hell is that? Found it in the storeroom. It's a crate full of cannonballs. I figured since we have our own cannon now, we could get in some target practice.
That'll be helpful.
Just leave the cannoning to me. I harken back to the time I was 3 years old and jumped on a passing cannonball, riding it halfway around the world.
How do you work
Lies.
this? Listen! Zoro! You know how to shoot this? Sleep. The guy sleeps constantly.
Yeah, he's always taking naps.
No fun. You know, just to the south of here is a reef that would make for some excellent target practice. Well, let's go! For real, guys! What are we sitting around here for? That sounds awesome!
You know what people used to call me? They used to call me Cannon Master Usopp.
I mean, Usopp might actually be good with the cannon. He's good at shooting things. So, and it kind of runs in the blood. But all right, this is Zoro. Look at little Zoro. Little kid Zoro. Could see how he became a really strong swordsman.
Anybody want to come out? I'm here to challenge your dojo. Send someone out here. I'm ready to fight.
A dojo challenge is quite a rarity these days, young one.
Don't count me out just because I'm a kid. In the next village over, I'm unrivaled.
I accept your challenge.
And if I win, then I get your dojo.
And if you lose?
Then I'll join this place. How about that?
Well, I think he's gonna lose, and he's gonna join this place.
Hold up! You mean you're not gonna fight me yourself, old man?
Kuina may be just a girl.
Okay, so we
but
saw a
she's stronger
glimpse
than
of
any
her
adult among us. Even as
once
her father,
before,
I can tell you this
right?
without prejudice.
Can I use as many as I want?
Of course you can. All right.
I think that's too many swords.
I'm ready!
But he was already kind of doing
before the
this
gods.
style
Doing? He's
with the
crazy.
sword in the mouth and
And
everything.
now, to each other. Begin.
Well, that was quick. Didn't even do anything.
Damn it!
Back up.
Have you studied two-sword style technique before?
No way! This is the first time I've even held a bamboo sword.
Really? Is
Wow.
that so?
I refuse to lose to this girl!
Yeah, he's got to work on his technique.
Has he ever
This
Man,
match
you can't just
is
run
over.
straight into a sword.
He's an amateur, and he's 10 years too early to even attempt using the two-sword style. You bitter? Because we can go another round if you want to.
A loss is a loss, okay?
It is wise to accept defeat gracefully. Then you
Now I'll be a student here. Got a problem with that?
You know,
Wait.
it'll be better for you.
No, I'm gonna train day after
Get
day.
better with your
all the time.
swordsmanship.
Then I'm gonna beat you. Remember that.
That day will never come.
Is that so? All year round, huh? Definitely outworking everybody. Wow. He just always had that dog in him.
Match
But
over.
still can't beat
And the
her.
winner, Kuina, with 2,000 total wins and 0 losses.
Damn it.
2,000
Zoro.
wins.
Nothing ever changes.
But Zoro isn't weak at all. He's one of the strongest out of all the guys. He's even beaten grown-ups.
But he's nowhere as strong as me.
Hmm.
Even with two swords, a weakling is still a weakling.
Well, we didn't really see her fighting style. It
You've
just
grown
shows it
so
end.
strong,
So I don't even
and
know
yet
what he's
you
got to
continue
work on
lose
to
every match against Kuina.
beat her.
Sensei! Are you giving her special training? She might be your daughter, but that's not fair! You shouldn't cheat!
Calm down. I've done nothing of the sort. Zoro has grown stronger. But Kuina has continued to grow stronger as well.
Zoro!
That's true.
Zoro, I'm gonna go clean up.
Maybe she's training just as much as he is. Like maybe if him now, like this version of him right here,
Can I beat Kuina?
faced
Why?
the version of Kuina
Going
that
to be
he
the
fought the
strongest
very
swordsman in
first
the
time,
world.
maybe
So why
maybe
can't
he
I
would win
fear?
there. But
Tonight I fight her again.
tonight,
It's only been a year since Zoro.
what's gonna make a difference tonight?
And the boy's progress is nothing short of spectacular. But it seems that the boy is still no match for Kuina.
Female swordsmen are faced with immense walls. As she is now, I cannot trust the inheritance of this dojo to her.
Father!
Kuina.
It's not polite to eavesdrop, my dear.
I'll show you I can do it! I will become the world's greatest swordsman!
Kuina, as a girl, you can never become the world's greatest swordsman.
Zoro?
It's late out. What are you doing?
Funny. I was gonna ask you the same question. What are you doing out so late?
I've come here to challenge you to your 2001st fight. And it's gonna be the last fight you and me will ever have. This ends tonight. Fight me with a real sword.
A real
You
sword?
have one, don't you?
That could go wrong.
You're on. The Wado Ichimonji.
Is that one of the ones he uses now? All right, let's see how this goes. I don't understand how things will be any different.
Two real swords are heavier than you thought, huh? See? You still lack strength.
Shut up!
I mean, that'll come with time. I mean, he's still just a little kid.
Win. Number 2001.
2001.
Damn it! This sucks.
Dude, you got time,
I
man.
hate it.
What's the rush?
I'm the one who should be
Seriously,
crying
what's
out
the
of
rush?
frustration, not you. When girls grow up, it's natural for us to develop into physically weaker beings than men. Even you will catch up to me soon enough. I've always heard you say to me, you're gonna be the world's greatest swordsman. When I told my father the same thing, he said I could never be that. And I know that, but it's just so frustrating. All I ever wanted was to be the world's greatest swordsman. My breasts have even started to grow out now. If I'd just been
Wow.
Don't fly off with the mouth whining like that after you beat me! Because it's not fair! You're my goal, you know how this makes me feel? Are you gonna keep up that same kind of talk after I beat you someday? Like skill is irrelevant! That's just an insult to all of the training I've been pouring on every day! So don't say that crap, would ya? Now promise
Well, that's true. That's like when I said, like,
promise me that someday one of us will
the
be
first time they
world's
fought,
greatest swordsman!
it was like
We'll compete and
he was
see who
clearly
gets
lacking
there.
a ton of skill. And even to this point, you know,
Dummy, you're so weak.
if Zoro had already been defeating adults, then so is
It's
she.
a promise.
Which, you know, I mean, here it is, like she's fighting a guy, like an older guy right now.
She's gotten even stronger than before.
Like, there are things that
Gotta get stronger, so I can hold lots of swords.
you can compensate
Two's
for,
not
like
enough,
when,
I'll use
like if you're
3.
lacking physical strength, like if you have the right skills,
What do
then
you guys want?
you could still win. What's up with them?
Kuina. Kuina is dead, Zoro.
What? What happened?
They said she slipped and fell down the storehouse steps, looking for a sharpening stone for her beloved sword.
What would she need that for?
There's no way to rationalize it.
Guess you never know what's waiting
Dang,
for
I
you
thought
when
maybe
all
she
those
would die, but I didn't think that it would just be like that. Like, well, that's sad. Dang, dude.
It may appear otherwise to the blind eye, but people are quite fragile things. Kuina. She was a very competitive girl. From the time she was old enough to make a decision for herself, she practiced in this dojo, achieving strength that surpassed many adults. It was this fruition of power that caused her to become a bit conceited. And then you appeared, Zoro, and I thank you for this, because as you grew ever stronger, Kuina felt compelled to practice even more, so as not to lose to you, so as not to lose to a boy. Through this, she had begun to chip away at the walls of female swordsmanship. Despite any of which I speak, I am, above all other things, an ordinary parent. And as any human, I am bound by my emotions as well as my blood. When I look at you now, Zoro, I feel only pain.
Sensei, I ask that you let me have that sword.
Kuina's sword?
I'll get stronger! Stronger than she ever was, you hear me? Strong enough that my name reaches up to the heavens! I am going to be the world's greatest swordsman! I promised her! I promised! I did!
Yes, the sword is yours. I leave her spirit and her dreams in your hands.
Well, it's like she's always with him. And they had that shared goal. Wow. He could slice boulders.
It's been 8 years, Zoro.
Wow.
You're finally going to set out on your own?
Yes, Sensei. To fulfill a promise.
So how'd he get into, like, hunting pirates?
Zoro!
And he grew a lot in that 8 years.
That was way off the mark!
Hey, what's so loud down there?
Cannon
Oh yeah,
firing
they're
practice.
gonna practice with the
It's
cannon.
not going very well.
Like I said, let the expert aim the thing. Judging from the flying distance of the last one, this should do it. Fire!
Awesome! You hit that thing on the first try!
See, he is good. He's just good at shooting
What'd
things.
you think? I'm pretty magnificent when it comes to aiming, so are you impressed yet?
Yeah, you better believe it! So it's all settled. You'll be our sniper.
Wait,
All right.
I don't get to be captain?
No.
I'm still the captain. You know, guys, I was thinking, There's one other position that we have to fill before we can head out for the Grand Line.
You're right. The kitchen is really nice on this ship. Just pay me and I'll do it.
Suppose it is vital for long trips.
No decent pirate ship should be without one.
Man, that's a nice ship.
Are you an idiot?
Just when I thought you were gonna say something smart.
But we're pirates, and pirates sing a lot, didn't you know?
Whoa. Who is that?
Hey, what the hell?
Shut up! Who I am means nothing!
Where did you come from?
Stinking pirate!
Okay, come on. We just got this ship.
How many are there?
One.
Then just let him handle it.
Over the years, I've lost count of all the
What's on
pirate
his
heads we've
face?
taken. And now you guys think you can kill my partner?
What? It wasn't us.
That voice.
What do you mean by partner?
Does he
Look,
recognize
I don't know
him?
what this is. Just stop wrecking our ship!
Johnny.
Johnny.
Tell me that isn't you.
Who's Johnny?
Who's saying my name like they think they know me or something? Go, Big Bro Zoro!
Johnny.
Was he part of the...
You.
What are you doing here, Big Bro?
Where's Yosaku? Isn't he with you?
What's going on?
Listen.
You guys know each other?
What's going on? What's going on is right. I called him Big Brother. Was he part of that dojo? I feel like they ended that purposefully on a much lighter note, because the stuff that came before that was pretty dark, pretty sad. So we got Zoro backstory, and it had shown Kuina one time before. It was just like a brief little thing, but here we got to actually, we got to see more of her. And so she was the sensei at the dojo's daughter, and she was very skilled swordsman, and Zoro came in and he became part of the dojo, and he was just like really fierce from the beginning and wanting to be a swordsman. He had never even like done it at all, but he wanted to freaking try it immediately, and he was just like so hard on himself, like when he would lose to her, but man, he was really into that training, like right from the get-go. I mean, we saw it went through like a year, and he was just freaking training all the time, working his butt off, and then when he sparred with that girl again, she ended up winning. But what was said was like, well, yeah, like in this time, like you've gotten a lot stronger, but she has as well. And, come to find out, like that was her goal as well, to become the best swordsman. And so there was that whole thing with her being a female, and like there was that one scene with her dad. She was listening into his conversation with this other guy when he said that she wouldn't be able to they were talking about like being the successor, I think, to what he does. He said as she is now that she wouldn't be able to. Then she came in barging in, and she said that she wanted to be the best swordsman in the world. And then her dad said that she will never be the best swordsman in the world. And so here's my opinion on that. And it might be different than what you are used to hearing. I feel like I would assume that most people that you might see that react to this would have a much different opinion than this. But my opinion is that I don't think that there's anything wrong with what the dad said in that moment. And yeah, I'm just assuming that, especially nowadays, that there's a lot of people who probably bash the way the dad handled that there, but I don't. Because here's why. And especially like this being an older anime, I feel like with the older animes, there's like real life lessons in there a lot more than the newer anime. Like the newer anime, they're like solely just, entertainment or nice animation, really flashy colors and everything. But the older anime, they have a lot of like life lessons that you could take away from it. And so with this, I actually feel like, it would have been irresponsible for the dad if he said that, yeah, you can become the greatest swordsman in the world, because, it's just like, it's a harsh reality, but it is the reality that females are typically not as strong as males. And so if he were to say that, yeah, you can, well, that would be irresponsible, because, reality would would hit her sooner or later. I mean, especially with this, like being a swordsman, like that's a dangerous thing, and she realized that reality. But in some ways, I think that it was also good for her to know that, because it also pushed her to want to work even harder, to want to like still become the strongest. And you saw even at that dojo, like she appeared to be the strongest one there, even out of the older guys that were there. Never saw, what the dad could do with the sword. But as far as what we saw at that dojo before she died, she was the strongest one there. But you never know, like out in the world somewhere else. And yet you can compensate with a lot of skill. And that's what she did, because she was facing bigger and stronger guys and winning. And you can compensate with skill to a degree, but at some point there will be a guy that has just as much skill, maybe a little bit less, but they might be so much stronger that they'll be able to just overpower her. And so that's just like the harsh reality of things. And I just feel like, that might be a different opinion than what some of you might be used to hearing, because, most people want to just say like, oh, like you're a girl, you could do whatever you want. And I'm not of that opinion. I don't think that's actually even responsible to tell, especially like younger. I mean, there's like situations with boys too. It's not even just girls, but in this situation, it happens to be like talking about a younger girl here, but to tell her that she could just do anything and just be the best at anything, like people do have their limitations. It isn't just with, boys and girls. There's other things too, that people are just born just genetically. There might be some limitations, or genetically, some people might be actually better suited for certain things than others. I mean, you see this with so many different factors in life. And to me, that's just a reality of things. It might not be very nice. It might not be like good to think about. It's not. I mean, in a way, it's like kind of sad, that just naturally people aren't really equal to one another, basically from birth. And there are things that you can like develop, you can work on things, you could compensate with things, but it's just the truth that just some people, it just comes a lot easier for them. And it can literally be with anything. I mean, that's what talent like literally is too. Like some people, they just get a hang of certain things really quick, while other people, they need to work like crazy hard in order to be, at that same level. So anyways, I'm going on a long while with that, but I didn't feel like I said a lot like during the episode, because I know I have like my own opinions on this. I didn't really want to share it in the middle of the episode, but it was a very sad situation there. The fact that she just died, off screen. She slipped, and she was like, she was getting a sharpening stone for Zoro. And so she had a lot of respect for Zoro. And, even the dad had said that when Zoro came along, that's what pushed her to get even stronger. Because already at that point, like she was so much stronger than everyone else. But Zoro came along and he was like training really hard for a long time, and she saw that. And so, that pushed her to get stronger and everything. And so they had a really good, nice, rivalry. It was really a rivalry type of relationship, but it was good. It was good for the both of them. And now that, after she died, he still has that goal, but I feel like even stronger than before, because it's almost like, because he has that sword now too, that was hers. They both had that shared goal of wanting to become the strongest swordsman in the world. So I just feel like, it's the combination of those two, that's just going to make him have that drive even more than what he did before. Little backstory from Zoro. But it's cool. I'm glad that we got that. I feel like there's still more to know about Zoro's backstory, because he ended up leaving and he left to become the strongest swordsman in the world. But when did he become a pirate hunter? So I would like to kind of see that. And then, that got me thinking too, like Nami's eventually we're going to see her backstory, because all we know is that like she really didn't like pirates. Something bad happened to one of her loved ones because of a pirate. And that is why she wants, forget like what exactly she said about that, but she wanted like a specific amount of money for something. And that's why like she's stealing treasure all the time from pirates. So I feel like eventually we're going to see her backstory as well. And I'm very excited for that. And we already have like Usopp's backstory. I mean, maybe there's more to it, but I don't know if there's that much more to it. Maybe if like we ever see Shanks's crew again and then we see Usopp's dad, Yasop, then maybe they'll show like some sort of flashback of like before Yasop left to become a pirate, and like we would get to see Yasop and like a little Usopp together, you know? So I don't know. Anyways, who the freak was that guy at the end? Zoro knew him. The only thing I could really think of is Dojo, but maybe it's someone that, I don't know, maybe it's a pirate hunter, like a different pirate hunter or something. I don't know. Anyways, what did you guys think about the episode? Let me know down in the comment section. And if you did enjoy the reaction, leave a like. That'd be greatly appreciated. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Feel free to follow me on the other social media. And if you're watching on YouTube, consider checking out patreon.com/DonDiego if you want to catch these reactions ahead of time. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.